What's happening, everyone? Hope all is well with each and every single one of you guys out there. I come to you tonight with I'm sure you guys have already kind of heard about this. Um, oh wow, ooh wow. Okay, all right, we'll address that in a little bit. But the wildfire that's been happening over there in California, in Southern California, and I'm hearing that this is actually the worst wildfire that they've ever had in Los Angeles, California. Um, and I'm sending nothing but good energy toward those people that are over there that are experiencing these things. I can understand, from the perspective of someone who has. I haven't experienced a wildfire, but I've been in situations where I've lost a lot of my material things, right? But I'm hoping that you know the people that have lost those material things, they're able to bounce back from that and realize that yes, these are material things and they can be replaced. And I'm hoping that these insurance companies are not canceling people's fire insurance like I'm hearing. I'm hoping that's just a rumor, um you know that their fire insurance is being canceled. That's beyond inhumane. For a lot of these people, this is everything that they've worked for. And even though it is material things and material things can't be replaced, it's one of those things where it's like a natural disaster, or what seems to be a natural disaster. That it shouldn't have to be grounds for people who've been working and paying their taxes and all of that sort of stuff to have to start over from scratch. So take it from somebody who has had to start over from scratch. It is a learning experience for sure, but at the same time it's not very fun. So I'm gonna get into some of it. Let's see. And we're gonna discover together a lot of the things that have been happening over there in California, in regards to the wildfires that are so yeah, let's explore it. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, let's discover together what's happening.
We're on a tactical patrol looking for hotspots throughout the entire area so that we don't have ember casts that get thrown downwind once again, like what happened earlier.
How long do you think until you get some of these this area under control?
Right now it's a tough question to answer. The weather is inevitable right now. We can't really predict exactly what's going to continue. It's definitely going to take a long time for this area to recover from what happened here.
Now, if you saw us, Colleen, you saw us about an hour ago over on Beverly. Now, there were homes next to one another, and there were spots that were still burning. Those were fueled by gas lines that hadn't been cut off. We found that crew, and they were going house to house, turning off those gas lines and putting out those fires. And that's a good thing, because in this area, we don't see the active fire like we did 2 days ago. But like he said, like the engineer said, you don't want to have any gust of wind, pick anything up, and then start a fire where fire crews have moved on, where they're doing other things. And of course, I can feel some debris stuck in my shoe. That's how dangerous this area is. But again, we're looking at this kind of devastation, a library that used to stand here on Lake Avenue, a very
Yeah, this is some of the images. These are some of the images of what's been happening over there in California. And I'm hearing, guys, that this is some of the worst um, wildfires that they've had over there. And you know something? This is my whole thing. Whenever these naturals and stuff like that happen, I'm guessing that it did happen naturally, and there's no foul play. Hopefully, I'm correct in assuming that. But I don't like when people kind of use this as a political tool, right? I think when disasters like this happen, it's not time for you to start to point fingers and say, okay, all right, cool, you know. It's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. I think it's time for people to kind of come together, pull their resources together and see how they can best help the individuals that are suffering during this California wildfire. So, that's my main thing. I think, yeah, I don't like when politicians use things like um, as a means to, bring forth their
Getting a
political
little
agenda.
steep.
Man,
You're gonna stay tight, Marcel.
wow. Look at that.
That was what we gave you was the fire stagnant. Do you want something else? Okay. Okay.
That is unbelievable. That is unbelievable. And then the guy that's in the helicopter, he's actually coughing. And I'm guessing he's coughing because it has something to him being exposed to some of the toxic fumes that are coming from the California wildfire.
Nice and slow.
Have died down. The wind is just taking these embers from the tree. They're all over the block, and they are moving to other houses. And you see new fires being created from these embers. This house is gone. I mean, just look. All these houses are gone here. There's a fire crew here. I was talking to.
Look at that. Pretty much gone. You see the house right there in the background? Evidently, there may have been a house right here as well. That I'm not entirely. Hold on, I'm not everything right now. Let me just expand the screen a little bit. But maybe there was also a house right here as well. But definitely, this house is just it's out of here. Let me rewind a little bit.
Just look. All these houses are gone here.
So evidently, there were some houses before that were here. Now these houses, guys, these houses are ashes at this point. They're ashes at this point.
There's a fire crew here. I was talking to the captain earlier. They ran out of water here on this street about 30 minutes ago. They went, they hooked up the hydrants. They turned them on. The water ran out. So now they're just moving on to another area. What they did when they don't have water is they try to create defensive perimeters around houses that they think they can save. And those houses are houses that don't have a lot of bushes.
You know what's crazy about this right now? Because he's actually even risked his life with everything that he's breathing at this point, right? I know it'll be a little bit difficult for you to sort of get your message across, and these are things that are important, but I think you should you have your mad reason. That's my only criticism of it, right? But yeah,
hedges, plantings in front of them or around them. Or if it does, they try to rip. They've spent like the last hour just trying to clear debris from houses to try to maybe save it. But it's a matter of luck or misfortune where these embers land, where these the top. This area over here, I want to show you. I mean, this house is completely gone. We've watched this entire house burn down. The house next door.
Wow, imagine that. Look at the car. Look at the house. Look at everything that you're seeing right here. The car, the house, all of these material things. And of course, again, these are material things, right? Like, these things can't be replaced. No matter how much it is that you spent for these things, I'm hoping that these people were able to get out of this house and, alive, minimal casualties. So as long as you have your life, you could still get that stuff back and even more, right? And I know like the psychological part of it, right, must hurt because maybe some of these people have lived here their entire life, right? A lot of these people probably lived here, since they were kids, raised their families here. and now probably have to get up and go and move somewhere else, whether it be some, you know, temporarily or permanently, right? And I know that in itself cannot be an easy process. But again, you know, and it sucks, but it is material things, and material things can be replaced, right? Material can be replaced.
The car that you see over here, we watched that. The flames jumped from the house onto the car. There was a small explosion as the gas canister blew. But look, Brianna. See, there's two houses on fire. The third house down now. The roof has caught fire. The fire captain was telling me they watch for the attic. Once you see smoke billowing out of the attic, and the attic is on fire, that house may be a lost cause.
Wow.
But it's like this. I mean, it's not just on this block. We just drove to Altadena, and just happened upon this block, got out, and I imagine it is like that. And you these explode.
The part that really sucks about this, and him kind of just pointing out what's happening over there in the background, is that a lot of these insurance companies, and this is what I'm hearing, and this is the part right here where we have to, you know, people need to be held accountable for this, and you know, people that are doing this to other people that actually need the help right now, their houses are gone. So hold on, let me put in the background in the meantime.
There was an explosion that I caught. I put it on Instagram about 20 minutes ago from a house right down there. Just heard an explosion, and that is, you know, gas canisters, propane tanks go off. So you hear these steady booms off in the distance, or sometimes uncomfortably close. But look, see, that's the crew I was talking to before. They've now moved down. They're scoping out. You know what? Let's walk over. They're looking at these houses. I'm assuming, if they're going to stop here, maybe they would have decided these are defensible, and to try to do what they can. There was a woman who lives in that house, that second house down there, about 5 minutes. We saw her on her lawn, and she looked very confused. And I mean, I'm no expert, but I said to her, like, I think you should leave. And she did. She had actually come back to just get some stuff. But when this house exploded, and it was quite loud, I think that freaked.
Look at the background. You can see, you know what's crazy about this? So you could actually see some of the ashes settling on some of the vehicles in the background. You can see the ashes on the road. Like this isn't snow, guys. These are ashes from the debris, you know, of the houses and the cars and all of these burnings. That's what you're seeing in the background of Anderson Cooper.
Made her realize maybe she should get out. Anyway, she got in her vehicle. She got her cat. She's gone. But it looks like this fire truck now. It looks like they're just going somewhere else. It's an extraordinary thing. 30 minutes from here in Hollywood or West Hollywood, Beverly Hills, there's coffee shops open, and you see smoke in the air. You get in your car, you come here. These areas are blocked off, but it's so close to where regular life is continuing. And for the people on this block, their lives now are forever changed. Look, this fire is now spreading down this block. We've been watching. Here's what happened on this block. This house was on flames. Let's walk over here. There's a down cable line, so we just want to be careful about that. Let's go around it. Okay, so now the house next door.
This dude he's risking his life right now. He's absolutely risking his life right now. In order to report the story. And I think there's safer ways to sort of go about this. You got all sorts of electrical cords and it's a lot going on right there.
This tree exploded into flames. You can see up in the palm trees now, those embers made those trees go on fire. I don't know if you can see through the smoke. Behind the palm trees, there are now these very tall vertical trees. I don't know much about shrubbery. I don't know what they're called, but they're huge, tall trees. They are now just like flames shooting up into the air. This second house, that is just gone. That car, I believe that's the explosion we heard a short time ago that I recorded. But now look, it's spread down. This is new.
Look at that house. Look at that house. You know, and for some of these people, again, it's like these are some of the things that these people have worked for their entire lives, right? And again, you know, as long as you have your life, you could move on from this, even though, yeah, it is going to be something that really sucks. You know, but you know, making it out of a situation like this, but still having your life, right? That in itself is priceless, right? So that's a grounds for you not to be too bent out of shape, because yes, I'm not gonna hold you there. It's gonna hurt for a little while for a lot of people. Some people are gonna recover from this quicker than others, but other people be hurting from this situation. And you know what really sucks about this is that the insurance companies, from what I'm hearing, are not really, you know, helping out as much as they should, or as much as you and I believe that they should. And I'm not entirely sure what's going on there, but yeah, we're gonna try to find out what's been happening with that as well, because yeah, that's another part of this situation that really sucks as well.
Yeah, we've been watching. See, it then spreads from these trees. Look at all these embers. Just, I don't know if you can pan up, but look at all these embers just flying up. You see them in the smoke. All of that. The winds are a little, or have died down here, but those can just get picked up by winds for miles, and they can go for miles and light down, fall on somebody's roof, and a whole new fire will pop up. So this house is gone. This house is now underway. The left side of this house ignited, and also now the house nearby it. But literally, I mean, these embers are like snowflakes. They're falling all around us. The sun, I mean, this is what's so crazy. If you can't even see the sun, it is completely blacked out.
I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I barely even knew it was daytime. But yeah, he's saying that you could barely see the sun, right? But it's like underneath the smoke, there's like almost a mixture of light and darkness, right? So it's very difficult to really make out what's happening or what time of the day it is. Not that it's, it's sometime during the day, but you don't know what time during the day it is. You don't know if it's sunrise, you don't know if it's the sun is setting. You don't know if it's midday. You just don't know what time of the day that it is. So yeah, let me rephrase that. It's not that you don't know, or from my perspective, that you don't even know if it's daytime. Is that you don't know what time of the day it is, right? Like it's difficult for you to tell if it's broad daylight. You know what I mean? That's basically what I'm saying.
I mean, you can't even see this house, but inside that smoke is another house. It is sandwiched between two houses, completely ablaze. There's no way that house.
Read the headline: Pasadena fire more than triples to 10,000 plus acres. 0% contained. 0% contained. 0% contained. That is just mind blowing. That it's 0% contained. And that's the part that really sucks. So I'm wondering how these people are able to vacate the situation, because it must be something that's just incredibly traumatic for these people to have to deal with, right? Like, how like, you know what I mean? Like the cars are burning up around. Like, who is there a designated person? Are there people that are coming into these communities and are transporting people out of these communities? Like, what exactly is happening? Because from a perspective of someone who's not necessarily who's not necessarily there, it looks like hell on earth. You know what I mean? But yeah, for the most part, I'm just hoping that these people are able to get safety. Whomever is able to provide them with help getting out of there. And this is one of those things where it's like you have to pack light, right? Like you're not going to be able to bring everything out of your house, right? You're not going to be able to bring everything that you've ever worked for. The important things, the most important thing, first of all, is that you yourself you're able to go and get to safety. That's the most important thing, right? Second most important thing is that you're able to, of course, when I say you, I'm talking about you and your family, right? But you can't take care of your family without taking care of yourself, right? So you have to be the one that's able, if you're old enough or strong enough to be able to transport your family from out of this situation, right? And then you can think about the important documents that you may need and all of that sort of stuff. But the most important thing is that you and your family are able to make it out of that situation, right? Don't too much about that stuff, you little stuffed animals and all of this nostalgic and all of this stuff that has some sort of sentimental value, right? Because at this point in time, what's the most valuable thing is you, right? So whenever you're faced with these sorts of crises or crises, you have to save what's the most important, right? So yeah,
House is going to survive. And then just down the block, see smoke, but you don't see fires. But there's a lot of houses which have already been destroyed down there. But this is very active. This is recently caught. I mean, this is now completely engulfed. Okay. Yeah. And now you see it. Now this house, which was relatively untouched, now this house is being destroyed. The fact that the crew here left, there was no water coming out of the hydrants. Obviously, that's a huge concern, as you guys have been reporting in the Palisades. That's a real issue through the night. There was more of a gravity issue in terms of the way water is actually able to pumped up through hydrants into the hills. I'm not sure what the issue down here is, if it's the same issue. They do obviously have water tanks that they try to bring to a number of locations, but I haven't seen any in this area. I mean, for the crew was right here, trying to do what they can, and it's really tough for fighters. I mean, they want to save everything. They want to stop this thing, but there's only so much you can do. Authorities have put out.
That's exactly what I was thinking. In my head, I'm like, there's only so much that you really could do. Like, think about all of this, like acres and acres. We're just reading that it was 10,000 acres. It's probably more, way more than that now. It's very difficult for you to just contain that, you know what I mean, with one firefighting team, two firefighting team, right? It's going to take a whole lot of help in order to contain this, right? So that it doesn't get too far out of hand. And this is just absolutely, it's gonna be something. Obviously, it's devastating to the community. It's gonna hurt the economy as well in Southern California for a little while. But at the same time, I think the insurance companies, I am going to criticize them because they should be doing a whole lot better when it comes to this sort of stuff, and especially if you're in an area where this is something that occurs, somewhat frequently, right? And of course, yeah, the flames haven't been settled as yet, right? So you have to go there and assess the damage and all of that sort of stuff. But people have been paying insurance for a reason. There's a reason why people got the insurance. There's a reason why people paid for the insurance, right? So you expect in a situation like this for the insurance companies, well, when you say expect, they should be helping these people regardless of what anyone thinks, right? You should be helping the people that are going through these, because this is just, wow. This is crazy.
No, actually, I mean, look, we're actually on a side of the street. That's what's so surreal. I mean, that side of the street, it's blazing hot. This side of the street, it's cool. No house is on fire. There's a firefighter right over there. You can operate in this area. We obviously wouldn't be here if we would get out. We have been in this location for about an hour, just watching the I mean, it is a sickening thing to watch
Sickening.
the strategy of the fire, if you will. Not that it has thought, but how it jumps from one house to another. It jumps into the trees, and then the embers move. You literally see it happening in real time. And I mean, for homeowners who are watching this, it's just now potential issue, which we may move. I think we're now, because this car, let's walk over here a little bit. This car from this house, I can see the trunk is now caught on fire.
Okay.
So it's, if that car yeah. So look, you can see the back tires are aflame. So it's very possible there'll be some sort of ignition from the gas. So we'll move a little bit more over here. These cars have already exploded. It's so strange. I mean, there's cars parked on the street that have not been touched, and hopefully won't be. But yeah, it's the size of this is obviously something that look, people in Los Angeles in this area, they're used to fire. They've seen this before. Thing that they have not seen. It may be I don't know. We'll have to look at the historical records, but it is certainly up there with some of the worst fires. And the fact that there are, there's this fire. There's obviously the Palisades, which is the larger fire. I mean, this was called the smaller fire, and in terms of damage so far, it probably is. There's, I believe, 1,000 structures they've said in the Palisades. I don't know at this point what the count is, and frankly, any count that authorities give you, as you see, I mean, it's changing by the minute at the whim of these flames and the whim of these embers.
Anderson,
Wow.
This is Boris Sanchez. I'm just kind of concerned for your safety. I mean, these are very serious images behind you, and you are very close to flames. You spoke about sort of the process of getting to where.
Then. Let's go over here.
You spoke about the process of getting to where you are and how eerie it was, that it seemed like life was just going by like another day not far from where you are. And we'd spoken to residents not far from where you are now who discussed difficulty that they had in getting out. I do wonder, is there a safe passage of egress from where you are? Would you be able to get out safely? Would residents, like that woman that you spoke to, be able to get out without issue?
Yes, there are streets. I mean, the fire is spreading in a certain direction. So there are streets people who are watching this. We obviously have teams who are very experienced in this. I do not include myself in that, but we have much smarter people around me. But there are ways to get in and out. Yes, there are, in answer to your question. So, this is obviously, there's police here, there's fire personnel here. And this actually, I mean, it's strange to say, this corner is now better than it was in terms of safety for anybody on it than it was 30 minutes ago. That location were 5 minutes ago. That's a much less safe location now, just in the last few seconds, because now the winds have picked up and that whole area is just completely blackened. And you can hear that crackling.
Wow. And you see, that's the part as well.
Lester, good evening to you. What you see behind me here is misery, and it is not unique.
When you're looking at that, when you see, right, it's that's what makes it kind of to really make out what time of the day it is, right? Well, obviously we're looking at something different, but let's go on over to see what's happening over here on News Nation, because it's definitely something that this is.
And our Brian Enton, who is in Calabasas, and our Nancy Liu, who is standing by live in Palisades. Brian, first to you with the breaking news. You spoke with the LA Fire Department, who told you that the fire in Calabasas, the Kenneth fire that is just exploding in size tonight, is apparently arson, and that they have a suspect. Tell me more details.
Wait. Hold on. I'm gonna try to get to the bottom of that right there. But this is why I was really trying to choose my words, because I didn't know if this was a natural disaster or not, right? But this is seeming like it was a natural disaster, but this is what we're hearing, right? So, wow. Yeah, that is absolutely mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. So let's hear more about this. Hold on. Let me try to make sure that this is let's try to make sure this is.
I want to bring in our Brian Enton, who is in Calabasas, and our Nancy Liu, who is standing by live in Palisades. Brian, first to you with the breaking news. You spoke with the LA Fire Department, who told you that the fire in Calabasas, the Kenneth fire that is just exploding in size tonight, is apparently that they have a suspect. Tell me more details.
Yeah, it is exploding. First of all, it was like 10 acres several hours ago when it started. Now it's up to almost 900 acres. And people evacuated this area. They can come back in. They've been working so hard, the firefighters. But in terms of this arson investigation, we were out here, Ashley, and there were.
Boy, if this is true and really somebody started this, if someone actually did this isn't something that you could just be like, hey, listen, I was just kidding. It caused a lot of damage. People have passed on. So, wow, this is crazy.
So many Los Angeles Police Department detectives out here, and it just didn't make a lot of sense. They were coming in and out. So we went and we talked to the LAPD, and they confirmed to us that they do believe that this fire, the Kenneth fire, was intentionally set. Listen to what the lead officer here told us.
What we know right now is that the incident started here, and about 30 minutes later, a suspect was detained over in Woodland Hills area by citizens.
So someone purposely set the Kenneth fire?
At this time, that's what we believe, yes.
Do you know how or why they did that?
That I don't know.
Is this a crime scene right now?
Yes.
So everything's closed off?
It's being investigated as a crime.
So I can just tell you, since we broke this news, Ashley, people in this area are furious, as you can imagine, and learning that it was actually citizens who apparently took this guy down. We don't know the other details. We know, though, that someone is in custody again, that this is officially a crime scene behind me, which is what LAPD are telling me. And you've got people out here wondering, so they've officially said they believe the Kenneth fire was arson. What about all of these other fires that we've seen over the last 3 or 4 days that destroyed thousands and thousands and thousands of homes? Obviously, too soon to make any kind of connections. But it's certainly raising a lot of eyebrows that we've now got this confirmation from LAPD that they believe this fire was arson.
So distressing, Brian. I just need to ask, I don't think we have the answer yet, but do we know anything about the suspect? It is a he, I'm assuming, who he is, why he did it, where he's from, is he local, anything at all?
No, we know nothing. And I tried to get more out of that lead officer out here, and he wasn't sharing it, just saying that it was all under investigation. In fact, they've actually pushed us back. We were able to get beyond these gates a little while ago, maybe an hour ago, and they've now gone out.
I do apologize. Yes, a message just came in. But I did miss a good portion of what it is that he was saying. So evidently, what he's saying is that someone started this fire. So let's get to the bottom of this, because I'm not quite understanding it, if this is something where it was two separate fires, or if there was one person that actually started the fire that actually that's been terrorizing Los Angeles. So and of course, obviously, I'm all the way on the East Coast, right? But at the same time, and things could be said that may not necessarily be true. But I'm gonna do my best to try to get to the bottom of what it is that's happening. Let's see. Let's see. So LA fires, right? So, all right. So I'm gonna share. Yeah, this is actually what's crazy is this is the same exact guy that we were just watching. But okay, what's happening here? Come on. News Nation. Wow. So it just so happened that I typed in something, and this is what it is that popped up. So arson suspected in Kenneth fire, one arrested. So the fire is the worst in Los Angeles history. So this is the same fire that we're talking about, right? So there's just one right across the board. You know, there's just this one thing, right? So it's not two separate. It's not a California. It's not like this is a wildfire that just started out of nowhere and was spreading, and then someone else decided to add to it. No, this seemingly someone actually started this. Right. So evacuation orders given to thousands of area residents, one person taken into custody in the connection to the Kenneth fire. So I'm guessing Kenneth is in Los Angeles or maybe in the suburbs of Los Angeles. Not entirely sure. The Los Angeles PD has confirmed to News Nation that the Kenneth fire is now being investigated as an arson case, and one person is in custody. The Kenneth fire is just one among 5 wildfires. Oh, okay. It's just one among 5. Okay, all right, cool. Okay. That's really what I really wanted to get to the bottom of, right? So that's what I was really trying to wrap my head around while the guy was speaking. Is this one person that started this fire, or is it a fire that started somewhere else or several other fire, or you know what I mean? Like, and then okay, so it's starting to make a little bit more sense now. So the Kenneth fire is just among 5 wildfires. So see right here is among 5 wildfires ravaging LA County, threatening homes near Calabasas and the Hidden Hills. Investigators believe the fire may have been purposely set, and it was citizens who helped detain the suspect. LAPD Senior Lead Officer Sean Dintz, not entirely sure, informed News Nation Brian Enton that one person is in custody. LA District Attorney Ethan Holtman said that the penalty for the suspected arsonist could be as high as homicide and could result in life in prison. That's wow. Okay. Justice will be swift. It will be firm, and the maximum punishment will be sought. Hodgman said on Banfield. Well, first of all, we need to really find out if this is actually true, right? Like we can't just go around playing with people, but evidently, right, once they do their investigation to see if this is actually something that really happened, then it's just one of those things, man. You caused a lot of damage to a lot of people. You like you contributed to something extremely tragic, and there has to be some sort of accountability where that's concerned. You know what I mean? So yeah. Our goal is to send this warning, Hodgman added, whether it's looting, these internet scams, robbery, or for future arsons. The day and age of DA's office standing on the sidelines is over. We want to bring justice, and we will. Economic loss from LA wildfires set to reach 150 billion, right? So he contributed to that. So this isn't saying that he completely started it, because again, it's saying that it was one of 5, right? So he started the one that's in Kenneth. Not entirely sure where Kenneth is, but I'm guessing that Kenneth is in. As a matter of fact, let's not even guess. Let's find out where exactly Kenneth is before we get back to this. Kenneth, Los or Kenneth, California. Is it Kenneth or Kenneth? Kenneth. Was I reading it wrong? Whoever's here, if you guys are in the chat, let me know. Is it Kenneth or Kenneth? Okay, so it's Kenneth, California. Mm-mm. This is a mining town in Northern California, so that's not what we're looking for. Kenneth, California. Yeah, so it is Kenneth, California. Yes, it's Kenneth, Kenneth, not Kenneth. So let me see if I could look at the map to see exactly where Kenneth is. Kenneth, California. Okay. All right. So evidently this is where the Kenneth fire started, right? So evidently the Kenneth fire was started here. Let's see if we could zoom in a little bit. Try to get to the bottom of what it is that transpired here. So evidently the fire started here over in the what appears to be in the bushes, right? So it appears that I'm not seeing too many houses around here. Well, the houses are are on this side. So evidently it's here, and then it spread from here all the way back here. So it started here, and it just got crazy, just got wild, and it spread. Okay. So Gates Cannon Park. Wow. So this is Calabasas back here. So this is Calabasas. Wow. So, and then look, then there's several fires happening as well, right? Evidently, there are fires happening here and here and here as well. Wow. Zoom out a little bit. And these are the worst wildfires in California history, right? So evidently there's something happening here as well. But this is the one that they're talking about right now, Kenneth. Wow, yeah. So I'm gonna keep that there. Back to this, get back to this article right here. So more than 34,000 acres have been burnt in total as wildfires continue to rage across the Los Angeles area. As multiple wildfires rage on, at least 20 people have been arrested on looting charges, and 400 National Guard members have been deployed for traffic control and infrastructure protection. Officials have said almost 180 people are under evacuation orders because of all the fires, and thousands have been displaced. President Joe Biden addressed the nation, announcing that he had signed a fire management system grant and major disaster declaration in response to the fires. So you got to give him credit where credit is due. Love him or hate him, however you feel about him, right? At least he's doing something, right, to help the people that are that are suffering at this this time. How to help the victims of the wildfire. So you got to click here to view the LAPD's interactive evacuation zone map. Cost sharing will be waived with the federal gov. Spare no expenses, Joe Biden says. Biden also announced additional resources for California, including 400 federal firefighters, more than 30,000 helicopters, planes, 8 C-130s from the Defense Department that are equipped to suppress wildfires, and 500 ground clearing personnel. Yeah, let's see what this is. Calabasas. Okay, so this is another map. Once I that it's showing us. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, guys. So it is a lot happening over there in California right now, and hopefully the people that are going through this are able to, somewhat, recoup some of what it is that they lost. But at the end of the day, they still have their life. So that's the main thing. That's the main.
Here, so we don't know much about the suspect, but again, interesting that it was citizens, it was regular people who apparently saw something and detained him until police could take him into custody.
You know, I just didn't think we were going to be talking about a crime scene tonight. Disaster area, yes, but crime scene.
So here's my thing. I'm hoping that this is not a witch hunt, right? I'm hoping that this is not a witch hunt where they just grabbed a random person that they suspected actually started it, right? Without actual anything like that, right? Because this could be, there could be things like that involved as well, right? Because people do make up crap. You understand what I'm saying? But we don't know, right? So if someone is responsible, if it is a person that is responsible for what happened over there, then yes, that person deserves whatever they have coming to them. But do some thorough investigating to figure out if this person really did it. Like if these people actually have proof and they could show where it was started and they could show him with, whatever it is that he had and all of that sort of stuff. They could actually prove that, yes, he had we saw him with the fire. We saw him light the fire. We saw him throw it. We saw him, all of that sort of stuff. And, we caught up with them, right? If that's something, then yeah, it's not much that you could really say about that. You got to tip your hat off to them for doing, what good people do, right? Which is in a situation like this where you have someone who has caused so much pain to so many people, then yeah, it is what it is, man. Like, you get what's coming in that regard.
No, I'm just so distressed, along with the residents there, I can imagine. Brian, stand by for one moment. Nancy Liu in Calabasas, you've just been doing some extraordinary reporting as well for the last 60 hours. Can you update me now to the Calabasas situation, or excuse me, to the Palisades situation?
Yeah. Say it's the cause of this fire, still not known, but people around here certainly wondering too. The devastation from this is immense. Behind me, just some of it, you see a door frame there. Here is another door, and it just makes me think, these are doors now to devastation. It is just blocks and blocks of devastation. And we now have some numbers on the destruction, just the Palisades and the other fire, the east, in Altadena, over 10,000 homes and structures, 5,300 here in Pacific Palisades alone. And you mentioned the death toll of 7 people. We can also update you that this fire is now 6% contained. I got to speak with a firefighter earlier, LA firefighter. He had been on the job for 2 days straight. Fresh crews are coming in from all over the country, and that has helped because containment is now up to 6%. And Ashley, we are now under a curfew here in Pacific Palisades. It is eerily dark. It is only our lights in this neighborhood. We are seeing regular police patrols, and you've heard about how looting is a problem. There have already been 20 arrests.
Guys, at a time like this, look, man, look, that's just inhumane. Like, why are you, what? That's just like an incredible, that's just a different level of opportunists. People's houses are burning down, and you're using this as an opportunity to steal crap, to run into people's homes and steal. Wow.
Arrests. And as you heard from Nathan Hochman earlier, they're not messing around. They will process these people. Ashley.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. To click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.
There are several neighborhoods and residential areas that look just like this. Shopping center and beyond school, and now you can't even figure out what it is. Tonight, everyone in this area is praying that the winds don't pick up. A firefighter telling me that the smallest ember with those winds can turn into a blowtorch.
This is what the most destructive wildfire in Los Angeles history looks like.
Yes, guys. Look at that. Wow.
Everything is gone.
The toll of the devastation staggering. Thousands of already obliterated, more than authorities can even count. The burn area in the Pacific Palisades now bigger than many.
Did you hear that? The burn area is now bigger than Manhattan. Larger than Manhattan.
The fire killing 5 people.
I think the death toll will rise. I hope I'm wrong, but I think it's going to rise.
These apocalyptic conditions now in their 3rd day, and the biggest infernos are still 0% contained.
This is one of the eeriest scenes we've seen so far. These were the cars that were abandoned when people got stuck and had to run for safety. A bulldozer came through here to let fire crews out. Those cars were spared, but these cars right here were stuck in the inferno. You can see how hot it got. Look at that. That's molten metal that was rolling down the bluff.
And today's stunning video showing the threat to Los Angeles' infrastructure as the Eaton fire approached the transmission towers on Mount Wilson, threatening.
You know, ever since the year started, it's been quite a bit that's been happening. I'm not gonna just attribute it to just the year starting, because there were a lot of things that were happening last year as well. But 2025 has it's coming. You know, from the things that have been happening in the situation that happened in New Orleans. There's a situation over here in Queens. You know, which is not too far from here, obviously. There's a situation that happened in Vegas, I believe, in California, and of course, there's a host of different things that's been happening as well. But you know, just the way this new year has started has been, you know, extreme, to say the absolute least.
Radio, cellular, and broadcast signals citywide. Roughly 2,000 firefighters are still stretched across the front lines, but it's not enough. Residents pitching in to save their own homes.
This is a tragedy. We used everything. And now that it is me, I can't tell you the amount of heaviness in this disaster.
We met the Champion family who lost everything.
What I would give to do dishes in our own house, which is like so basic, but things that you take for granted, all the life that we built here.
Threat is not.
Hey, you know, you just gotta feel bad for the kids, man. You know, them actually experiencing something like this. That's, you know, certainly something that they're never going to forget. But at the same time, the parents should be very grateful that they were able to take their kids out of that situation. So yes, it hurts, but yes, you have reason to also be grateful as well, because there you are, you have your angels with you. So, you know what I mean? That's reason to be
over. Last night, 2 fires ignited near more heavily populated areas. The Sunset Fire triggering rush hour evacuations in the heart of Hollywood. Miraculously, winds let crews attack the fire from the air, stopping the blaze before it could reach homes. These firefighters are going nonstop, 60 hours battling more than just the flames.
How's your water pressure been? Water pressure's been a big issue. We have had hydrants, dead hydrants. So we've been having to go back to Sunset Boulevard to get water to come all the way out here.
The smoke hasn't cleared and anger is growing. Many gloom. Was Los Angeles prepared?
We will absolutely do an evaluation to look at what worked, what didn't work, and to correct or to hold accountable any body, department, individual, etc.
Failing water pressure and hydrants leading to a heated moment. A fire victim challenging California's governor.
Why was there no water in the hydrants, Governor?
It's all literally.
Is it going to be different next time?
It has to be.
While the cause of the fire is still unknown, the damage is incalculable. Before and after satellite pictures.
And that's a legitimate question. That is a legitimate question. She's asking. I'm not entirely sure if the governor is the right person to ask. However, one would think that it would be the governor's responsibility to make sure that other people on their jobs, whoever is responsible for making sure that there's water in the hydrants, you know, it, you know, it's the governor, right? So this is why one of those things, and I don't want to make it this political because, you know, he seems like a really, really good guy, the governor of California. Again, this isn't something where it's like he's directly necessarily responsible for it, but of course, obviously, because he's somebody that's at the helm of what's happening in California, um, you know, yeah, it sort of falls on him a little bit, right? But is it directly his fault? No, but again, you know, he is in a position of leadership, and as a leader, you know, especially okay, so given that wildfires are things that happen in California, that should be the responsibility of the leaders to make sure that there's at least water in the hydrant. Maybe you can have you know, how could you say this now? Implement more fire safety you know, devices, maybe in the homes, maybe in the community, maybe all of these homes need to be more fireproof. And when I say more fireproof, have those sprinklers in the homes that automatically go off, and I'm sure it would be able to contain it to some degree. Maybe not in extreme cases, but of course, to some degree, it may have been able to contain some of it while the firefighters get ready to do their thing. So that way it's not as difficult for them to get to the bottom of the situation. Moreover, um you know, had they had the right things in place, it probably wouldn't have gotten this out of control in the first place, right? So yeah, it is a legitimate question, but you know, I'm not necessarily sure if the fire is his fault, and I could understand from, you know, her, you know, being in at this level of despair, and you know, being this anxious because of what it is that transpired there. But I'm not entirely sure if it's the governor's fault 100%, right?
Show the story. On the Malibu coast, a row of multi-million dollars to waste. 40 miles away, this view from a middle-class neighborhood dotted with destructive fires.
It's a wasteland.
For those coming back, home, a hellscape.
We couldn't even recognize it on our way up here. We didn't even know where we were 1 block from our house because everything was so different. There's no landmarks left.
And Tom, you mentioned there was a break in the weather. The winds were a bit more favorable today, but the situation is growing more serious this evening.
That's right. Firefighters are still working around the clock. Officials will likely grow as they check out more neighborhoods. And there's one more thing they're warning about tonight, and that is looters. If you consider people are coming to areas like this and stealing what little people have left, so far there have been at least a dozen arrests. Lester?
All right, Tom. The task of fighting such a massive is immense. And as Morgan Chesky reports, the struggle for water is complicating the fight on the front lines.
Tonight,
Yeah, this is just all around this is all around tragedy. And you know, my hope is that, you know, we're able to get to the bottom of this. And the people that are over there in California, you know, can rest assured that they will be provided with the resources that they need in order to, you know, get their life back up and running, because they may not necessarily be able to you know, bring with them all of the material things that they've lost, right? Because those things are gone. So, you know, but at the same time, you know, be grateful for the fact that you weren't lost. You know what I mean? Be grateful for the fact that you still have life. And you know, that's just priceless, you know. So there's still reason to be grateful. And hopefully the insurance companies come through because people have been paying for their insurance and they need help now more than ever. So yeah, hopefully all goes well with that. But yeah, that's what's happening over there in California. Anyway, on your way out, guys, make sure that you do like and subscribe. It is on Eastern time. It is 12:47 Eastern time right now. So I'm gonna be off. You understand what I'm saying? But I did enjoy hanging out with you guys. Thank you so much for tapping in and tuning in. Have a blessed one, everyone. Take care, guys. Bye.